Hey Luna, what do you like to do when you travel?
Hi, this is Camber.
Hi, this is Nakisha, and you're listening to Wise and
Wise and
Weird.
Weird.
It's February.
It is February.
Normally not my favorite month. I don't know why. I've never really liked February a whole lot.
As soon as you
But
said that, I realized that I don't either.
I
Yeah.
normally don't. And I've always and that's always bummed me out too because it's Black History Month. And so
That's right.
I
Yeah.
love it for that, but it's when I think of the actual month, I'm like, why did they pick February? Like,
The worst month ever.
yeah, I've just never really liked February. Like, oh my
This
gosh,
is
here
going to
we
become a
go.
speech therapy hour-long session.
Here we go. But
I really enjoyed the thing that Sakara posted, and it was saying, you know, Black History Month is January, February, March, April, May, June, July.
mhm,
I said all the
yeah,
months, and I was like, yeah.
I do like that. Yeah. And the fact that it's the shortest month of the year too.
That
Like,
is a
here,
good
have this.
point.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I've
And
always
the
been like,
coldest,
okay.
the
Mhm.
shortest,
Yeah. I'm just never
overshadowed by quite a bit. Why did they choose this month? I'm curious. I'm curious what the argument was. I really don't know, but
I need to look into it too. I feel like I used to know, which is so bad, but yeah, uh, so I do like it for that, but which I actually was going to mention Black History Month in my astrology forecast. So yeah, starting off February. So that's really cool. But yeah, I don't know why it's shortest year or shortest month of the year.
what month would you want it to be if you could? Just all year.
Well, I thought of like my other favorite month, but that's October. So I'm like, no, I wouldn't want it during Halloween. Maybe
Oh,
May. I
could
love
go
May.
really south. Yeah, May is a good month.
I love May.
It's
And
too
I think
cold
it
for
has
me, but it's all right.
31 days, doesn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. I only know half of that song they teach you, which means I only know half of the months. I'm like, oh
We
shit.
never, between the two of us, we don't know what day or time or what month it is. So I
No,
don't know why we're asking each other.
I don't know
But
either. Like half the time, you lose it. Like, oh god, there it is again.
I'm all
Well,
like,
I don't
what's
even know what I
wrong?
was gonna say because I'm so upset that I said like. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because we haven't had normal jobs in a while, either of us. It gets really hard to remember what day it is.
Yeah, it's a blur. I have no idea. Time goes by so fast now. I have no idea.
And after after Dallin quit, it's like I just don't have any, there's no reference whatsoever.
Yeah, just a blur. So when it comes to the astrology forecast, I'm actually super surprised that I even have the dates or the days rightful. I never know how far ahead to go or anything because I don't even know what day it is when I'm doing it. So yeah, there
And
we
on
go.
that note,
On that note,
what is the astrology?
well, what day is it? Let's start there. No. So the day that this is being filmed, it's February 1st. So we're starting off February. And this year, I'm actually really excited for February. That's kind of where I was going with that. It's not normally my favorite month, but I'm actually really excited for February this year. So not only does today kick off Black History Month, and after discovering that I'm related to Huey P. Newton, that's a pretty big deal too. And
Yeah.
quite proud of that. That's pretty awesome. But tomorrow is 2222. So there's going to be some really magical shit happening there. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to do something. And then we have the True Tuesday on 2222. Yeah. 2. It's 5-2.
The day you're eating 22 tacos.
I sure am. Yeah.
I sure am.
I have my plans for that. Yes, I will be eating 22 tacos to celebrate and doing some other stuff. I'm sure I'll pull a card or two, but yeah, 22 tacos. That's my manifestation. Quite powerful.
I love it.
So February is pretty interesting this year. So we'll see. So February 1st, at the time this airs, this will have already passed, but I touched up on it last episode. Just touching up on it again really quick. Tonight is new moon in Aquarius. So February starts off this year with a new moon in Aquarius. This is a very forward moving energy. And I know I talked about Aquarius quite recently about how they're very innovative, even inventive, unique. So it's a really fun, interesting time. It's a really good time for ideas. Aquarius is focused on groups and the collective. So it's a really good time to ask where we're wanting to go as a collective and what we want for our futures, which I think is very, very, that's very in aligned with what's going on right now. I think that we should all be kind of asking about our future right now for sure, and where we're headed, where we want to go. Is this where we want to be heading? And it's a really good time for unique expression. That's what Aquarius is all about, unique expression. So with it being the new moon, that's new energies, new ideas, new procedures, or so that's what makes it this very forward moving energy with it. Also with the moon, let's see, new moon in Aquarius, it's actually joining, the sun is in Aquarius right now, and Saturn is also in Aquarius. So there's a lot of Aquarius energy right now, a lot of Aquarian influence right now. So very fun and exciting.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, February 2nd, 2222, all those twos together too, really good for manifesting. So manifesting money specifically. Then February 3rd, the next day, it's just like boom, boom, boom. February 3rd, Mercury goes direct. So it's no longer in retrograde. We can come out of hiding and
crawl out of our hole.
Note to self. We can come out of hiding. We can send that email and
reread it first.
Yeah, like proofread it first, reread it first, just make sure. But after Mercury being retrograde, after Venus being retrograde, gotta kind of find our footing a little bit. Maybe block that ex that you've been texting lately again. And this is also a very forward moving energy though. So it gives that extra like oomph moving forward. Oomph. I've been using that word a lot lately. Oomph. Okay. Okay. We're going here. Okay, cool. So there should be more ease and less tension when it comes to communications, technology, delays, travel, everything that Mercury is associated with. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Social again somewhat.
I
don't want to push it.
Gonna take some time. I'm just glad it's happening before I like get on an airplane. Yeah.
Like right before. Yeah. That's cool. You aligned that really well.
Little did I know.
And then February 14th, I wanted to see what kind of energies are going on around Valentine's Day, because I know a lot of us probably have plans or whatever. It's supposed to be a special day, right? So I'm like, let me just see what's going on. But I hope I'm saying this right. I think it's Pallas. I've only read this word. I've never said it out loud, but it's an asteroid and it's entering Aries on February 14th. So it's interesting energies here, because this energy is around courage and independence and wisdom. And then it's moving into the sign of Aries, which is kind of double that. They're about courage as well and independence as well. So it's kind of like a double type of, while I was like filling out these energies though, I got a really sexy energy, like really spicy, sexy, a lot of confidence. And yeah, so a lot of confidence, but not even in like an arrogant way, but in like an inner knowing, like having more clarity on like certain subjects or direction, having more clarity, having this inner knowing, and it comes out, or it shows up as a confidence. But yeah, I felt like it was a very sexy energy. I really liked that for Valentine's Day. So yeah, that will be nice to look forward to. And then February 17th, I just wanted to touch up on it really quick. Oh, actually, I still have some notes for February 14th. Oops. So yeah, Valentine's Day, I put very fiery, confidence, strength. That was a word I really wanted to throw out there. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Strength and owning your own power. So
Yeah.
that has to be said. So now we can move on to February 17th. I'll most likely touch up on this in more detail with our next episode, but we will have a Leo full moon. So full moon in Leo, which is my moon sign. So that one's going to be probably pretty intense for me. And this one seems like a very fun, playful, but potent energy. It's going to be kind of strong. There's some other celestial things going on this same day. So it will be a pretty powerful one. But yeah, a lot of like playful fun coming up. So yeah.
I'm ready for it.
Oh my, I am too. I'm so ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been needing this. So that will probably be a really good time to do like some inner child work. So, but we'll see. We'll get into that.
When does Pisces season begin? Throat.
So normally, so this year, I believe it seems early to me, but February 18th, I put 18th/19th because it also depends on where you are in the world. If you're a day ahead or whatever. But most of the other signs, it's going to be like 21st, 22nd. But yeah, it was saying, and I don't know if this is always the case, but because I always thought it was February 20th. But yeah, on the astrology app that I look up, it was saying February 18th/19th. So that's what I was going by, was February 19th was what I was gonna kind of stick by.
Sure.
Yeah, for Pisces, which is the oldest and wisest of the signs. So that's coming up next.
I get reminded daily.
Yeah. They're like ancient wisdom and knowledge and just, yeah, Pisces, they're special. But yeah, Aquarius is like, why are you talking about them already? Like, hello.
I know.
Coming soon. Yeah.
Well, that's very exciting.
It is very exciting. Yeah, I like these energies coming up. It doesn't feel as heavy as recently, I feel like, or serious. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just need a break. Be like
Yeah,
fun and more lighthearted.
exactly. For your travels.
Yes, to Italy.
Woohoo.
So excited.
I know, I'm excited for you. That'll be so fun. So yeah, part two.
Part two.
What?
I know.
I'm really excited about it though. We do have some like fun stories and experiences and stuff. So um I definitely wanted to get to some of these other places that we didn't get to last time. I was kind of bummed, like, oh no, I didn't even like talk about this place or whatever. So I'm excited that we're doing part two.
Yeah, I feel like there was some stories that I missed. I still don't feel like I could touch on every place I've been, but I thought there was some fun stories. I feel like we got off the last one and instantly we were like, oh my gosh, we didn't talk about this or that. And so I'm excited.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally felt that way. Afterwards, there were a couple of things that happened, like in Thailand, even that I didn't talk about. And I totally talked about Thailand on the last one. So I was like, oh man. But uh, yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Were off the top of your head, like just thinking about it right now, was there something that you feel like you missed last time? Well, I guess that's what this episode's about, but I mean one of the places that you had talked about last time.
Yeah. Um, I think one of the things that I missed last time was like the story of like meeting a Bosnian politician who was told at the time was a president of Bosnia. I've never looked into it, so I don't even want to say that, but it was on accident. And then I ended up like sitting and talking to this person for quite some time being like 30 minutes.
That's cool.
And it was in Portugal. And so I feel like you just have weird stuff like that. I was going to mention that because I mentioned Portugal and the soccer game and stuff.
Hmm.
And the big thing about that is that the people that I was with, we ended up staying in the same hotel as the team, the Bosnian team. And I would get up early and I'd go down into the lobby to have like breakfast. And I was sitting in the lobby waiting and for like my other people to show up. And then someone was sitting next to me, like an older gentleman, like in a suit. And he was just kind of sitting there and like started talking to me. And I was like talking to him. And then someone came down the stairs from my group who is all Bosnian. I was the only non-Bosnian. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, do you know who that is? And they were like getting pictures with him and stuff. And to me, because I like talked to him for like 30 minutes and I found it was just like he was just super polite and like nice and like I had no reason to like believe he wasn't just like a business person. I felt bad because obviously like as someone who just doesn't know, like I obviously don't know all the leaders of all of the countries, like
Hmm.
it's like embarrassing to a point of realizing how little we're taught about other countries' leadership here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So there's just like, I don't know, you just don't. And at the time too, because I was like 19. So I definitely didn't know anything.
Hmm.
But I thought that was just so interesting. I think the other part that shocked me is like our president wouldn't just be chilling in the lobby by
Yeah.
himself. Like, I don't know. It was really intriguing to me. I don't know. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting because I've like run into the people like that where it's like, oh my gosh, like I wish when I was talking to this person, I knew who they were or had some context or something. But it's just funny. Like you meet people and you don't know that they're famous. Like when
Yeah.
me and you were in Vegas and we were having breakfast at the Bellagio.
Yes, I just thought about this. We were having a dance party the other night and we were listening to like old school, like throwbacks, and Fat Joe came on. I'm like, oh my God, remember
Yeah.
that? That was
I
awesome.
loved that so much because it was like it started out what we were just eating breakfast, and then like a woman walked past us with like, I don't want to say it was a fake ass, but it was not proportionate at all
It
to
got
any
our
degree.
attention.
Yeah.
It got our attention for sure.
And we were not trying, yeah, I'm really not trying to objectify what. Then we made a joke, right? Is like, oh, it's like a rapper's girl or what, a rapper's girlfriend or something like that. Not derogatory, like she was beautiful.
Yeah.
I remember. And we were like in awe. And then all of a sudden she walked to a table and you like flipped your shit. You were just like, oh my God.
She goes and sits right next to Fat Joe. I'm like, wait, what? She is a rapper's girlfriend. And then do you remember his security guard was like trying to get the digits? He was trying to, and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to be human. I like get so weird. I'm so awkward. So she's like, I don't know.
Like, it's breakfast time, guys. It takes me like 12 hours to at least be halfway decently human.
Yeah, it was super weird. And I remember we were going to this breakfast and I was like totally hungover, you know. I'm just like, ugh. Like half of our friends were still sleeping back at the place where we were staying. So yeah, I just didn't know what was going on. But that was really cool when you saw Fat Joe. And I just thought about that the other day. That's so funny. I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
In my memory.
It's so good. In my memory. Yeah. I have met people accidentally that I didn't know who they were. Yeah. So that was one of the stories because we were talking about Portugal. And that was one of the things I remember that I missed and didn't say. Was there something, so cool. Yeah, something that you missed with like the countries you mentioned last time?
I missed a lot. Some of it was on purpose, but full moon night. But some of it wasn't. I was like, we stopped recording. But one of the things that I thought was really funny was I was gone for 2.5, but 2.5, I just read that 2.5 months, well, 2.5 months. I was gone for like 2.5 months. And so my grandpa was like watching my place while I was gone. And when I finally got back, oh my God, he was so relieved because he only got updates with my like postcards and they were a month late. Like he was still getting postcards way after I returned. Oh, yeah. So poor guy. But he would like go to my apartment and stuff. And when I got back, all my plants were dead. He just like replaced all of them. There was like a new, like a live one sitting next to all the dead ones. I thought it was so funny. Cute. But he always called Thailand because of the way it's spelled, Thailand. He never called it Thailand. He'd be like, oh, you're in Thailand. And I was like trampling through the city just with my thick thighs. And I was like, I mean, you're not wrong. But the second that I got back, I loved the food so much there. And the second we got back, that's all I wanted was Thai food. Like for months after, it was so crazy. But yeah, so I get this voicemail like a couple of days after I get back and I have this voicemail from him and he's just like, hey, like, you can come over. I got you some Thai food. I was like, that's so cute. I'm like, you're not wrong. That's exactly where it goes. Like,
that's where it's gonna store.
That's where I'm savoring it. So I mean, I just thought that was so cute. Like, did you have fun in Thailand? I'm like, oh, Gramps, you have no idea.
Does Gramps know any of these stories?
He does. I told him some stuff. Yeah, when I got back, I mean, I told him some stuff. I also wrote some of the things on the postcards too. And then they like stamped over it. So some of I'm like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe we went to the like, don't know what happened. There's like 2 lines missing. And then it's like, but anyway, yeah, I really like where we're staying now. And so I'm like, this poor man was getting my postcards and not even knowing exactly what was going on. Just all I had to write on them was just, hey, I'm still alive.
It's like prison letters when they like black out certain words and it like makes no sense.
Seriously, it was like same thing. But yeah, he was like putting them on his fridge while I was gone. But like I said, I mean, he didn't even get all of them. Like some of the ones from Thailand, like towards the end, like the last little while, I'm like, oh my gosh, you like had no idea what I was up to or if I was okay. Yeah, no phone communication or anything, which is so crazy. But I did skip when you asked me like favorite, places and stuff, and I was like, oh, Thailand, and I was thinking about Thailand, or I'm like, or was it Costa Rica or Bali? Like, I don't even know. But afterwards, I'm like, oh, Singapore. I totally didn't mention Singapore, but that's because it was tied to my Bali trip, which will be in this episode actually. But Singapore was super interesting. Singapore was really, really neat. I really want to go back, actually. I would love to go back with Tor. But yeah, Singapore was like very interesting. It's like one of the cleanest cities in the world. It's also probably the most expensive, one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive. And it's just beautiful. And you hear about how it's like a city, an island, a country, like all at once. It's just so different than anywhere I've ever been. Our Uber driver was the one, actually, we were like going to the club. Oh, we went to this club. It's like it's in the top 10 clubs in the world. It was really cool. And there were like celebrities there at the time we went to. I didn't know who they were, but they were pretty famous. People were like taking pictures with them and stuff. And I was just like, hi. But so it was really fun going to that club. But yeah, our Uber driver on the way, he was like, yeah, see, he's like, this is the most expensive city in the world. And we're like, oh, wow. And he's like, yeah, look at those condos over there. They look like apartments, whatever. But he's like, do you see that there's chandeliers in every single one? And we were driving past and there's chandeliers in like every single like apartment, condo or whatever. And he's like, yeah, those are like $1 million. I was like, what? So, and they had very interesting laws, like going into the country, they flat out give you a paper, a warning, like you can't chew gum because they don't want you spitting out gum. It's illegal there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm down for that.
no gum, no spitting on the street. That's why it's like so clean. And it's one of the safest cities in the world too. I felt so safe. And we were walking around like 2-3 in the morning because we had an overnight there. We weren't there during the day really. So we were like out like clubbing, just females. It was pretty crazy, but it's super safe. Crime rate's really, really low. We felt totally safe. It was just a really interesting place. The sidewalks are even all like sparkly and glittery, and it was really nice. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the laws. And if you're caught with drugs or anything like that, which I mean, we didn't have, but it's death penalty, like automatically.
Oh shit.
It's
seriously?
Very strict. It's very strict there. They give you flyers like when you're entering their country, like, hey, like these are our laws, like you better obey them, and I'm
all just terrified. I'm not even going.
I know.
I don't even do drugs. I'm just like, oh my God.
You are. Well, that's kind of how I felt too, getting the flyer. I'm like, do I have drugs? Like, oh my gosh, like what if I have like Tylenol? They're like, like I
what
was
is
like,
a drug to you?
I know. I'm like, wait.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's exactly opposite of what I stand for as far as like socially acceptable social policies and stuff. But wow.
It was very, very interesting. But yeah, I want to go back because it was just I was so intrigued. I was just like, wait, tell me more. What? Like this, it just was so interesting. But I got all kinds of pictures as we were like walking down the street, and we go to the club. I have videos of us like dancing in this club, which it was a lot of fun. And it was really cool. We pulled an all-nighter. We didn't have like anywhere we were staying. We just left the airport and, we're there for a long time on our way to Bali. So that was cool. But yeah, I did want to mention Singapore because it's definitely one of the most interesting places that I've been, and it's like beautiful.
I've heard that. I actually have heard that from many, many people. I've never heard anything bad about Singapore.
Yeah, I really liked it there. Yeah,
a mutual friend of ours, her dad's company had an apartment for him there, and he would travel there all the time.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's what, did she or just the
I'm not
dad
sure
probably?
if she ever went.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be so cool.
I'll have to ask her, and I'll tell you who it is later. I'm sure you know. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, very interesting.
I did that
So,
going to Paris. Like I did an overnighter from Germany, and we just got like a hair to go, and so we got on a train, and overnight I saw, like, I didn't get to go in any of the places because they were all closed. I went back later and did, but yeah, I got to see like the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower and stuff all at night, and
nice.
didn't feel safe necessarily. Kind of a different experience than what you had, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of fun doing that though, like just like country hopping for the night.
It's cool. Yeah. I'm one of those people that really tries to take advantage of my layovers.
Mm.
So when I talk about travel, like I usually am including some of my layovers just because like I'll have these certain experiences there or um yeah, that's how it was when I was in Beijing. I was there all day long. Um, and my flight had ended up getting canceled actually leaving Thailand. I was freaking out. I was freaking out and I'm like out of money and like, oh my gosh, because I was there for 2.5 months. So
Yeah.
I just keep saying it. You go with it. You're like, yeah, I was kind of joking. But yeah, so my flight gets canceled. I'm freaking out. They give us a hotel. They give me a hotel room. Well, I end up meeting this guy. He was from Germany, but going to school in Japan at the time. Really cool. We're actually still Facebook friends, but ended up meeting this guy because his flight got canceled too. He was on the same flight or whatever. We got it rescheduled. We got on the same flight again together. But I met like a couple of people while on the plane. There was this other guy that was in line with us that was going on the same flight. And we ended up becoming friends with him. And so he was like, hey, like when we stop in Beijing, like, do you guys want to get out? There's like a train that we can take. And he had kind of already planned it out because I think he was planning to go by himself. And so
Yeah.
it was really cool. It was really cool. We ended up like spending a day in Beijing and, stuff like that. I think it's really awesome. I just saw your post though. That's kind of funny you brought that up. I actually just saw your post.
Mhm.
You have it on like your highlights or whatever, like one of your little folders on Instagram.
Oh,
And I
nice.
accidentally clicked on one like just recently, and I was like, oh, I just like started. It was like going through your travel photos, so I'm like, oh, I'll look. And then
Yeah.
in it, you're like, oh, we walked around at night. It was kind of it talks about how it was like really quiet, just
Mhm.
walking around Paris at night. So I just saw that post.
That's
Like,
so
great.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like tried to for a minute like repost all these photos from all these travels or whatever that I've been on, but there's so many. I don't even know. And it feels weird posting about things now like 10 years later.
Yeah.
So
I still do it. I don't even. Or I just make a whole book about it.
cute. Cute. Oh my
My
god.
Bali trip. And I gave her a copy too for her birthday. My friend Sarah that I went to Bali with.
Oh, I love it.
Just sitting right here. That's amazing. Yeah. That was my flex. That was my flex.
I
Just let
wanted
you
to. Like when me and you went to Hawaii, I thought about making like a little video, and I had taken like little videos. I started making a clip and then I just didn't follow through with it. Like that's all there is to it.
I remember you were taking a bunch of little videos, like that sushi place we went to was cool, how it just like pops up on the train.
Yeah.
And that was cute. It was like boop. And yeah, going boogie boarding. We went to like all those different beaches. I thought that was really cool. That trip was awesome. But just how we like camped for half of it. Half of it we stayed in like Airbnbs. That first one was so nice. Oh my God. And
Yeah.
then yeah, the other half of the trip we were like camping out. Everyone got sick of it by like the fourth night, and Tor and I were still like, yeah, this is awesome. I loved it. I just felt like it was so like adventurous. I just loved it because the beach was right there. We would like have our tents like in the beach. Part of me I secretly wanted to get like whisked away and become a mermaid. That was
Yeah.
that was part of the whole point of that trip, but Tor wouldn't let me. But like,
He's like, I'm not into it.
I'm not into this. But
I love it. Like, I never got sick of it. But that's like one of the ways I've been able to travel so many places is I have like packed my tent on in my luggage and had maybe 4 pieces of clothing in my tent. And I've done that in Europe and Hawaii, like all over in the United States. Like, I camp a lot of places that I go.
that's so cool. We had never done that before. That's the first time that we had done that. And
Yeah.
we loved it. Like, I kind of don't want to travel Hawaii any other way now. I mean, yeah, like staying in Airbnb for a few nights here and there, or whatever, but I definitely want to like camp again on my trips there for sure. I really want to go back to Kauai really bad, which is the trip that we went on. It was beautiful. I loved Kauai a lot. And God, we had so much fun. The bonfires on the beach, that was so fun. And that night we played truth or dare for like hours. We were like we were the only group that was still awake. And we're drinking and like loud and laughing, and it's going on for hours. And then was that the same night that we skinny dipped?
It was, and we like all went skinny dipping, and then we realized it was only like 9.
Bruh.
And then we were like
Bruh.
walking naked past like families.
I thought it was at least 2 a.m, like 2 to 4 a.m. I thought like everyone was like out and like just like passed out. I'm like, oh yeah, we're definitely the only ones up. So we go skinny dipping. Tor and I are just like, we're gonna take a long walk along the beach. We go like all the way down, just walking down, just naked, just talking, like no big deal or whatever. And then I can't remember what happened. Like, oh, he had his swim trunks with him or whatever, but he wanted to switch into like regular clothes or whatever before getting in the tent. And so we're trying to get in the car. He thinks it's unlocked or whatever. He sets off the car alarm. And I'm just standing there watching. And I look at him. He's got his t-shirt on, but nothing on the bottom. And
our alarm's going off.
Yeah, and the alarm's going off, so it's flashing just bright red while like the siren's blaring. And I'm just standing there watching, and I'm like watching him like pulling just clothes and trying to find like pants to hurry and put on before someone sees them. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. But yeah, and then that was the first time that you heard. The next day we're telling everyone the story. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I was Winnie the Poohing it, and you just thought that was so funny.
I've never thought about it like that, but I was like, Winnie the Pooh is totally naked on the bottom half.
Just sitting there with this jar of honey. Oh my God. You're not going to get pants, but you're going to get honey. You're going to eat honey though? Okay. Got it.
In the story, I had always thought that he like the alarm went off and then he grabbed his shirt. So he had his shirt on already.
I can't remember. Yeah, I mean,
this is important.
I just know. When did the shirt come off? I'm like, on trial. It turns into a trial. You're like, you didn't know this, but this is a confession. So all the families we scarred that night. Sorry.
Oh my
Thought
gosh.
It was 4 a.m. God, and all that happens, and we look at the time on the clock or in the car or whatever. It's like 11 something. Like, what? Oh my God, like everyone's awake. But yeah, he sets off this alarm, and I just see like the panic, and he's just and then it's like flashing red. I'm like, this would be actually kind of cool if we were in a club. But yeah, he's just
Nakisha's just standing. You're just standing over there staring at him, like pretending that you're filming it. Do you ever do that? Like you're filming it, like you're a director and you're like watching a scene instead of like doing anything to help the person. And you're like, yeah. And you're thinking of a song that would have been good too. And he's like, help me.
I like didn't even know what to do. I was just standing there watching him, but I've never done that before. That's really interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, I think my mind, pretty sure my mind was just on food. I was like, oh, I'm hungry. Like, all this time I've just been drinking. I really could go for a burrito right now. He's just like, help. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that trip for sure. I definitely enjoyed like some of the places we stayed. I want to go back though and explore the whole other side that we were like told not to go to. So
I
that
feel
would
like
be nice.
yeah, like Tor really he really showed up on that trip. Like, oh my gosh, he saved us so many times.
He
Like,
did. Oh,
yeah, and I feel so like grateful because I don't think us or our other friend got charged for either car.
I know, which we definitely should have.
Yeah. And he just like totally went Batman on it and like solved all these problems and was like doing car fixes. And I just was like, what's happening right now? And you guys hid. Did
I
you
like melt ice. I melt ice in my cleavage. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like whenever I think about that though, I'm just like, oh, it's so hot.
As you should, he is your husband.
What were you saying though?
Oh yeah, you and him like doing the whole like secretive getting rid of those like car parts.
Mhm.
And then we're like, I still don't know where you guys took them, but
Oh no, I wasn't involved in that. I couldn't know either. He knew that I couldn't know.
oh, that's
Like,
right.
yeah, I was like, just
Yeah.
handle it. Yeah, it was him and his brother.
Just
So I was
handle
like,
it.
okay. Yeah, I was like, just handle it, babe, and then come back to me later. But yeah, that was a fun trip, but definitely yeah.
Gosh, I don't know why that reminded me of this time when I was I think it was in Portugal, but it was later, like a second trip to Portugal. And we got really, really drunk and we were dancing around. I know why it reminded me. So in Hawaii, we had that night where we listened to like Usher and then like just
For
old
sure.
school stuff. And
Mhm.
then we did the same thing when I was in Portugal and I got really drunk and I was like, I can do the splits. And then I ended up like, I did the splits and I heard the biggest pop of my life. And
Ooh.
then, yeah, it took me probably a year and a half to recover from that injury. And I was like, oh my
no.
gosh, drunk splits, not a good idea. No.
Yeah, you know me. I used to be all about the drunk splits.
I know. So did I in my 20s. Don't do it in your 30s. Don't.
That is so funny. I was just talking about this with Tor the other night too at our dance party that we just had a dance party, just us, and they get
Cute.
wild. And I was like about to do the dance splits and I was like, no, the last time that I did this, my knee popped out.
Oh.
That was the pop for me. My knee
Yeah.
popped out and popped back in, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that again or whatever. He's like, what? So gotta chill on that. But I'll just live forever with that picture from our ladies full moon night from forever ago. It was like 10 years ago or something that we did that lady full moon night, and I went down into the splits and someone took a picture and I'm like, okay, I'll just always show this and be like, I know how to do it.
I can do the splits.
Yeah, when you were 12.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Those are fun. We need to take more trips. I really want to do like a women's retreat, or I guess we can just like put one together apparently after our last episode.
I know, we just have people reaching out to us. I'm a part of it. I was like, okay. I really want to. I think that I have a much more pull to doing like a retreat than I have doing like monthly virtual things. But I think my nervous system is a little bit exhausted from like virtual stuff. But if they were like tied together, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. We'll have to figure it out because I don't think we're just restricted to only like one type. Like we could totally do it, I think. So
Yeah.
That Aquarius new moon, girl, get those ideas flowing, get them out there. Let's do this.
I know, girl.
It's
And
funny
once somebody says something to me, it's like instantaneous though. So
yeah,
if
seriously.
this is something we really want, I'm like, I'll make it happen.
I know.
Are you ready for this?
I'll wake up tomorrow in Fiji, just like When did this happen? In a hammock, just like, what? Yeah, let's do it. What else was I?
I
Okay.
know. I like had a couple of stories, but then I was like, oh my gosh, I just feel like, are we doing a part 3? Just
We just the rest of our podcast is all
about travel. I'm sure this will come up again later.
Yes. I did have a story in Bali the first night that I was in Bali.
Let's hear it.
So I went to Bali for my 30th birthday. Yeah, my 30th birthday. I was going to go by myself. And then at the last minute, my friend Sarah was like, hey, I can go too. So I was like, cool. But we actually booked a tour, like with this tour group. And that was the first time I've traveled like that, like having a tour group and stuff. It was really cool. But the first night we get there, my friend, she was jet lagged. They were having like a dinner with the tour group, and you get to meet everyone and stuff, but she didn't make it because she was like so jet lagged, which I was too, but I still went. And we go to dinner, and then after that we walk over to like a bar, and we get to the bar, and I don't know what was going on, but there were like 2 different guys from different groups like trying to get me to like leave with them, and I'm like, I'm with a tour group, like I can't just do that or whatever. But so they keep trying to talk to me at the bar, but I'm like getting to know the people in my group. So it was just weird. They're kind of like interacting with the group in a way. Anyway, they're kind of like lingering, but I was like, whatever. So we're leaving the bar. We're going to walk back to our hotel where we're staying at. And I'm like one of the last ones walking. We're like walking in a straight line because the roads are like really narrow. And this guy pulls up on his like scooter bike, like motorbike or whatever. He's like, are you sure you don't want to come with me? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, I'm with this group. And he's like, I'll just take you for a ride really quick. And so, okay. So this is so dumb. Like, I don't recommend doing this ever. Ever. But I did it, and I'm still alive, so I can tell it, but like, don't recommend. I got on the back of the bike, and we start driving off, and I'm like, wait, slow down. And so one of the other girls in the group or whatever, I just like lightly tap her on the shoulder, and she turns around expecting to see me walking. Yeah. And she turns around, and I'm on the back of this motorbike with this guy or whatever that's been like hollering all night. And yeah, she's just like, what? She's like, what the hell? And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go for a quick ride, but I'll meet you back at the hotel. I'm like, we're gonna be going, I'm like, we're heading east. And that's like all I kind of told her. And I was just like, if I'm not back by this time, and I'm like shouting it as we're like driving away. I'm like, let Sarah know if I'm not back by this time. And she's like, what? And they're just like, what the fuck? But like all the people in the back of the line, they thought it was hilarious. They were like busting up laughing, like, what? Like high-fiving me as I'm passing by. But I go on this bike ride with this guy, right? We're like, just go like through these streets, don't know where we're going. And I'm like, oh my God. And I start realizing like, Nakisha, like, I get that you're all about the experience, but what the fuck? Like, come on. But it ended up being a blast. But yeah, he takes me to the beach, and we're like at the beach, like just walking around, like holding hands. Cute. And he like knows everyone in the town. Like everyone's like stopping. I'm like, hey, like saying hi and stuff. And I'm like, what? We're riding back from the beach. We get caught in the rain. We get caught in this rainstorm. We can't keep riding his bike because it's like pouring. So we like take shelter under this little, like, I don't know, canopy thing. And we're just sitting there like talking and stuff, and it's like raining, and it was pretty crazy. And we're just like talking to each other, whatever, getting to know each other. We get back to the hotel, and he's like, can I see you again? I'm like, oh, dude, we have like this, I'm with a tour group, like it's jam packed, like, no, you're not going to see me again. Yeah. And we're like, we keep talking. He's like, please, like, I'll try to, I don't know, I think I set up a meeting time just so he would like let me go to my hotel. So I was like, yeah, I'm like tomorrow morning. Yeah. But I knew we were leaving. Yeah. So we left so I could get back to my hotel room or whatever. But right before going up to the hotel room, another person stops and is like talking to him and stuff. And I realize he's a drug dealer. That's how everyone knows him in I'm like, wait, what? And this yeah. So crazy. But it was cool when we were at the beach and everything. I mean, hey.
I mean, it was a good story.
super crazy.
Could still be a good person and be a drug dealer.
Super crazy, right? He had a very tender heart. I think that's why he was doing it, was to like help it. Actually, I don't even know, but
I was like, are you really safe?
I realized why everyone knew him in the town though, because at first it was just like, oh wow, like this is cool, like everyone really likes him. Well, yeah, everyone really likes him. But I made it home. But right before I made it back to the hotel, though, my friend Sarah wakes up, texts the tour guide like, hey, where's, like, are you guys back and stuff? He's like, yeah, everyone's back in their hotel rooms. He's like, and she's like, Nakisha's not here. And he's like, wait, what? And so he's like texting some of the other people in the group, and they're like, yeah, she rode off on a bike with this guy. I'm just like, oh my God.
Can you like get kicked out of like a tour group?
I probably should have, but they were all wild anyway. Like as the trip went on, it was like, oh, okay, like I wasn't the worst. Actually, well, yeah, I wasn't the worst. But questionable. I mean, I was up there, and it was the first night. But yeah, it ended up being really fun, but but still, to tell you that story and to close it with, that's still not comparable to the full moon night in Thailand. That whole story is so wild. It's still like, that's still not my craziest story, the Bali. Oh my God, while we were riding on the bike though, just really quick, because like this became a huge inside joke with Sarah and I, and kind of just I always just randomly shout it out and no one ever has no idea why. But while we were on the bike, we're driving through, and it's like speeding. There's no like traffic laws there, right? You're just like speeding through these like little tiny like alleyways or whatever. Sure. And we're just going, and I'm like, well, you know, and then he sings out, he's like, I'm in love with the cocoa. I thought it was amazing. So yeah, Sarah and I just like throughout the trip, just randomly, I'm in love with the cocoa.
That is amazing.
That was my first night in Bali. That was while I was still 29. I wasn't 30 yet. You know, I changed. Bali changed me.
That after I turned 30.
I'm not that person anymore. Okay. I had to have my last hurrah. I was still 29. So yeah, there.
The Winnie the Pooh story is after you're 30 though.
Yeah, but Tor was still 29. Okay. So if you want to come at me? Also
was he
in Bali.
Though? Really?
I don't know for sure. I just thought that was a really good. No, because remember
I was like, wait.
He turned 30 like one of the first nights when we went to the luau. It was like our second night there or whatever. We went to the luau, and I drank a lot. Yeah, for his birthday. It was for his birthday.
For him.
Oh my gosh, I'm like the worst wife.
You doing that voice makes me think of other stories you've told me too, but we won't go into that. We'll do that another episode.
Because I always have to like defend myself or backtrack or be like, wait. In defense though, it was because of this, because I start getting like the crazy looks like, what the fuck? Like, who am I talking to right now? And I'm like, wait, hold on. It gets worse. So, just hang in there.
Just hang it.
This isn't even the worst part I was going to tell you. No, but monkey forest in Bali.
Monkey forest.
Yeah, the tour group was so excited about it, so stoked to go. Everyone was so excited. I was kind of nervous about it. We get to the monkey forest, they're like, don't make eye contact with them. If they come up to you, let them, like they'll get up on your shoulder. Sometimes they'll pee on you or whatever. You just let it happen. If you do anything like against them or whatever, or like try to stop them, then it makes it worse. So you don't do that. If they come up to like they were like, be careful, like don't even take out your phone and stuff. Like if you take out something and they grab it, like your water bottle, your backpack, your phone, it's not worth it, just leave it. And I was like, wait, what? Like, no. First of all, that's my stuff. Yeah, like you're not taking my
you're
stuff.
Gonna throw down some wild monkeys.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, you're talking to a Taurus, right? Like, what's mine is mine, like
Very
capital
much.
MINE. So yeah, when they started saying that, I was like, hello. So yeah, we get in, and the minute we get in, one of the other guys in our tour group or whatever, the monkey gets right up on him, pees on his shoulder, poops down his back. And I was like, nope, I'm out. I am out. I was done. I was done. When I tell you I threw a fit, not lying, no joke, I threw a fit. My friend Sarah wasn't into it either. Then we get going, like we keep going. Another person got like peed on and pooed on in our thing, and so I'm just sitting there. I was terrified. I've never been so scared, like ever. All of my crazy stories I've just told you, all of my scary stories I listened to, I've never been scared like this. I was just like backed up, like I didn't know where to go, because I'm like, I can't go stand against a tree, like I don't know what to do. And there's just monkeys that all around this park just wandering around, and they'll just come right up to you. And I was like, no.
You couldn't just leave?
So it's huge. It's like being at a zoo. Like it was huge. And so I was looking for the exit. I went right up to the tour guy. I'm like, where's the exit? And he's like, huh? Like he was so confused, because everyone's like all laughing and taking pictures. I'm like, where's the exit? I did not get one picture with one of these monkeys, and I don't regret it. I don't give a shit. I do not give a shit. Everyone's like sitting there posing and stuff. I'm like, oh, monkey. I'm like, I don't care. So I'm like looking around for the exit. Sarah starts to as well, because we at one point we see a monkey. It's like a kind of smaller one or whatever, but its tail was like broken off. Like
oh my God.
It was like its tail was like dragging. It had a huge cut, like wound, and it was like bleeding. And I'm like, no, like if that one were to jump up, I would die. I would literally die. So I saw that and was just like, no, get me out of here. And so we're like looking for the exit. We're running for the exit, my friend Sarah and I, and we thought we found one. We go, and it ends up being this whole like maze, like in the back. I don't know, it was so crazy. And this lady, I think she was the janitor there, but she comes up and she's like, are you okay? And we're sitting there crying. We're like, no, we just want to get out of here. And we're bawling. We're like, we just want to get out. And she's like, oh, exit's that way. And we're like, oh my God, thank you. And we're like grabbing her, we're like, thank you. And I'm like doing this to her face, like, like
fucking crazy people.
Everyone else is having the time of their lives. It was like the highlight of their trip, and it was like the worst. It was the worst. And it was worse than the surfing lessons, where my instructor was like, do you want to die out here? It was worse than that.
I would rather not.
It was like, no, that's why they paid you to be the instructor. Yeah, the instructor was telling me, do you want to die out here? And I was like, oh shit, surfing's not for me then. But anyway, so yeah, monkey forest, 1 out of 10.
Negative 10.
Didn't love it. I immediately I was just like, nope, I'm out. It's like, where's the exit? I couldn't go back through the entrance. I tried, but so we had to run all the way through the park crying and screaming. So Bali, yeah.
Terrifying.
It was.
I don't know about that either. I like animals though, but I'm not sure how I would react to that. I feel like that was like the first time I ever saw fish like in the ocean, and I was snorkeling, and you don't realize like you've only ever seen fish in a tank, or like a trout in Utah, and it's like this big, and then you're swimming and like a little fish is the size of you and it's coming at you. And I starfished on the top of the water, and I was just like sitting there. And then the person I was with was like, what are you doing? I was like, it can't see me. Like if I just sit still. And it like freaked me out.
The ocean's scary. Yeah, you don't realize. And then you go snorkeling, and I thought I was just afraid of sharks. No, there's eel. There's like the octopus are scary too. They'll like blend in. Yeah, water snakes, like there's all kinds of stuff, and you like don't realize. Even the Vana, like you don't want to step on all these things. Like there's all kinds of stuff. I'm like, oh, I love it. I go in the ocean all the time, but like, oh man, yeah, some gnarly stuff there too.
I definitely do some like intentional oblivion there when I'm swimming in the ocean.
Me too.
Like I really have to consciously just not think about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll like panic about it. Yeah. I don't think sharks are that scary. Like I've seen sharks multiple times, and I don't get that scared of them. I'm all like, the other stuff freaks me out. Especially if it's like clear. the things that freak me out are in like rivers, and like if you've ever seen some of the fish in like Utah lakes and stuff, it's like no, like with teeth and like long jaws and things, and you're like
Oh,
no,
wow. I
I don't like that.
haven't.
I don't like the things that live in the mud at the bottom of rivers. They freak me out.
Ew, well, yeah, that doesn't sound
No.
pleasant at all.
Even
Ugh.
last year we were in Idaho and we were in a river and there was snakes swimming.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I'm all freaking out, but there's like so many snakes out where we're at now. I joined a Facebook snake group so I can like identify them when we go out because I'm like so terrified. I'm like, I need to know if it's poisonous or not. Which when we went for our bike ride, I saw a copperhead, which are really poisonous. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's venomous. They like to say, not poisonous. But yeah. So I'm learning, but yeah, snakes just freak me out. But there's a lot of them here, a lot more. I never saw them really growing up in Utah. I really never saw snakes. So
I did, but like a lot of my family had, like my grandpa had like a farm, and then we would just be outside a lot. We camp a lot and things, and my dad's very like knowledgeable about that kind of stuff,
mm-hmm.
and he would teach me all of that kind of stuff. So it was interesting.
Nice.
And I took a survival camp class
Ooh.
too, where I ate crickets and ants.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Weird.
I'm trying to like just teach you how to survive when you're a kid. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's good to know. I didn't know anything. That's why I joined that hiking group that I did. Because
Yeah.
I always wanted to go hiking, but I'm like, I don't even know where to go. I don't know what's safe. Like I don't have any kind of like safety. I don't have any kind of gear. Like I was such a beginner. So that group really helped and changed my life. But they would offer classes too sometimes. So like the leaders, yeah, like the main leaders in the group and stuff, they would like know what they were doing and where to go. They'd know about all the like vegetation and like animal life in that area and stuff. So that was really nice. Yeah, they saved me from moose, rattlesnake. What else? I don't know. He saved me from all kinds of things. So that was great.
Sure. I think that's like, yeah, I'm so used to that. Growing up, my travels were like camping and doing that stuff.
Nice.
And then later, like going to cities and things, it's like a whole different. A lot of my, like, I had another story I was going to bring up too, is like me and Sakara when we were driving around, and we started in Norway and Oslo, and we were camping all over in Norway and camping all over in Sweden. And then we drove down into Denmark, and like, you know, in Europe, like the streets are so different than they are here. And
Yeah.
there's like plazas and like big open areas where like people, you'll just be driving down a street and all of a sudden you're like in the middle of like this city square, like plaza, and you're just like, oh shit. And
I would
like,
freak.
yeah. And luckily, like I'm always in these situations, I feel like with Sakara, where it's like both of us are pretty mellow people, like we don't freak
Yeah.
out about anything really. And so then we were just like, I think she was driving at that point because I had been driving, and I was like, I'm done. Like we were trying to find a parking spot, and I don't parallel park. Like I just don't. I don't do it here, and I'm definitely not doing it in a small like alleyway. And so, and she was like a pro parallel parker. And so we switched, and we were driving. We ended up in one of these plazas, and then all of a sudden, as we pull out in the middle of like a procession. Like there was like guards that were dressed to the nines, and we realized it was like the royal procession.
Whoa.
And it was like they were like bringing like the queen and king. It was a whole ceremony, and we have like our little car, and we somehow ended up like in the middle of it. And like I'm not even shitting though, like the guards didn't even break. Like they just kept going. They didn't even look at us for like half a second. And I was like, oh my God, we are not in. But like all of the people around that were taking pictures were like, what? They were like pointing at us, and we're just like, there was nowhere else to go because you have these buildings.
Wow.
And so we just had to like keep kind of going with them until we could find a left or a right, which was hard because people were like lined up to watch them. And finally we like rolled down the window and we like yelled at people, and we're like, you have to move so we can get out. And then, but like, yeah, so they like all started splitting, and luckily like it's Denmark, everybody spoke English, so it was like easier to get out of the situation.
Wow.
But yeah, we totally got stuck in like a royal procession. And I know, I'm pretty sure the king and queen were like, behind us coming up or whatever. Anyway, I was just like, what is happening right now? We were those tourists. So and it's wild. But you don't
That is
know.
wild.
Like, how are you
Yeah.
supposed to know that? How does that not happen all the time is my thought.
Yeah.
But apparently.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So many
Fun.
good times.
I know. Where else, like, are there other mentions that you want to do of like where you've traveled? And I mean, I want to hear of like more places. Have you been to Asia at all?
I haven't, surprisingly.
I
So
haven't been to Europe.
I actually had a ticket to go to, where did you guys go together? You guys you didn't go to Bali together, right? Or did you go to Bali together? You and Sakara?
Oh, no, that was with Sarah. Sakara was Thailand and New Zealand.
Thailand.
Tor
So
and I went to Costa Rica.
so me and her had like a ticket to go to Bali. And then I ended up canceling and she went with another friend. And that was the only time when I had like been able to go over there, which was surprising.
Wow.
But yeah, like I've been to like Belgium, Italy, Spain, France, well, like almost all of Western Europe, and then
Cool.
Mexico and Canada and Puerto Rico. So yeah, though I feel like I've been to a lot of countries, I still feel like I haven't, because it's like all local, like it's all like, oh, Europe, and I love Europe, but it's like, yeah, there's so much more to the world than Europe, you know? It's actually really small comparatively.
Yeah, Europe's cool though. But yeah, I guess I feel like if I'm going to do an international trip, like I want it really different. I want it to be like really different. Not that Europe isn't, because Europe definitely is, but I just haven't made my way over there for some reason. I would really like to go to Europe. There's a lot of places over there. And then the fact that I have family over in Italy, I'm like, hello. But
I
I'm
mean,
like,
you could just
hello.
skip
Okay.
England, but
Yeah.
no offense of anyone out there listening. If you want like something that's different, there, you know what I mean? There
That's
are
kind of, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I'd want to go like, it probably wouldn't be one of my top places, to be honest, but it's probably someone else's, it's fine. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know what it is though. There's a lot of places in Asia. Another thing about Singapore, really quick though, this was really cool. I loved this about Singapore. Gardens everywhere. So they build gardens like on the side of the buildings, the airport, all inside the airport. It's all like indoor. It's like the outdoors inside. It's so cool. All the buildings are like that. There's plants, gardens, flowers everywhere. So that's part of what makes it so beautiful. But I totally forgot about that. So they have like this fresh air, like right in the city. I think it's the coolest thing. I think we should be doing that everywhere. But I was stunned. Like there's pictures all over that I was taking because I was just so fascinated with that. But yeah, all up the sides of the buildings, they like have just gardens on all the like patios, and they figure out a way to do like all these gardens inside all of the buildings. So that was really cool because you're like down in the city, but then there's just like plant life everywhere. So
I love that.
yeah, I thought that was really neat. I've never been somewhere that does that like that. So yeah, that was really cool. And then yeah, Costa Rica, that was my other trip. That one was just Tor and I. Yeah, loved that one. Had a great time. When we were there, we actually did a lot of activities. So that one was really cool because we went like on the Sky Bridge, we went zip lining, which was really fun. Yeah, boogie boarding, like all kinds of stuff. Farmers market. We the police did get called on us, I guess. We were like sleeping in the car one of the nights, and all of a sudden we just get waken up by the police and like searching our car, which could have ended really badly. But luckily one of the guys, like he was really nice, one of the officers, and he spoke English, but no one else did. So that was really scary. But yeah, we had really good time on that trip too. That was really cool. So yeah. And it was really beautiful.
I've done some really beautiful things. Like there's that too. Like we have so many funny stories, but I've had some really beautiful experiences, like horseback riding on the beaches in Mexico, and like
Yeah.
like the bioluminescent bays and Vieques, like off of Puerto Rico, which is the brightest bioluminescent
Mm.
bay in the world. Like it was
Ooh.
magnificent. It was so beautiful. It's probably one of like the most spiritual experiences with nature that I've had. And yeah, that was, I don't know. And there's like wild horses on Vieques and stuff, and it's just so, so beautiful. I'm probably even saying the name wrong, but
How long ago did you do that trip?
it would have been 2019.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Didn't you win a trip? That wasn't the trip you won, was it?
I
Remember
did.
we went to the So You Think You Can Dance concert
Yeah.
and entered that contest, and then you won a trip.
I did, and I didn't ever go, and I can't remember why.
Oh
I
dang.
remember the call though, because I was in the DI. My aunt had just passed away, and I went and bought a plant that reminded me of her, and I was like carrying it around. And then I went to the DI and I was like clothes shopping. And I got
That's
this
cool.
call, and I was like on the phone, and they were just like, "You won like a something something trip." And God, I can't remember. Oh, you know what? Is like I was still married at the time. That's what happened. So I was married, and they allowed you, that was the whole thing why I didn't go now. Um, they allowed you to like bring your kid with you. So it was like a 2-person trip. But if your child was under 16, like you could also bring them. And so then we were trying to get my ex-husband's daughter to like go with us, but she like wouldn't commit.
Oh
And
yeah.
then we'd already invited her, and it just kept like getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, into the point where it was too late. Like we couldn't tell him or whatever, and he wouldn't commit until she committed. And so then I almost like went by myself because I was like mad about the whole thing, and then I ended up just losing the
Wow.
whole trip, so I was like bummed about it. It's like, really?
Yeah.
So
That's a total bummer. What the hell? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
That is bringing back. I remember that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing up the trauma. It's cool.
I know. I'm like,
I'm just using.
I brought up So You Think You Can Dance. Don't
I
you remember
know.
the concert?
I forgot we did that. People were
Yeah.
like, wait, but like what? But like who's playing? No, like, So You Think You Can Dance. Like a lot of people I told didn't know they went on tour.
Yeah. I didn't know that until we went to that or whatever, but oh my gosh, with how obsessed we are with like the dancing and stuff. I love that. I love that we went to that together, but we got a picture from that night too, everything. But yeah, I remember you
Cute.
winning a trip from that. Cute.
They never went on.
Yay.
Well, I could like talk forever. I know I still have a ton of stories, but honestly, they might just have to wait. They'll just pop up here and there in our other podcasts.
So many good stories. Yeah, we should do things where we do maybe like lives or short clips or whatever, and in it like have people comment their like stories from, if it's like from a similar place that we're talking about, or like a similar story that happened to them or something like that, and kind of make it a fun like interactive thing. That'd be really cool.
I love hearing about them from other people for sure.
I know everyone loved hearing about the Winnie Poohing. Oh, Winnie Poohing. Winnie the Poohing. They're all like, who's Winnie and why is she pooing?
It's a monkey in that forest.
For sure. Oh my god.
So I pulled a card.
Yeah.
That's my transition. Well, the transition from shit.
Let's do it.
I pulled a card beforehand, and I felt like it was very enlightening. So I pulled the Flame.
Ooh.
Dun, dun. So pretty.
Okay. It is.
In Sanskrit, the word for fire is Agni. The ancient yogis saw this flame at the center of the abdomen and believed it to be responsible for our vitality. When it is lit, we are connected to our purpose and sense that life is a sacred gift. It is said that those cannot see the sacred around them have let their inner flame go out. Think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten and protect the flame, no matter how harshly the winds around you blow. It could be an inner archetype that begs you to light its wick. It is likely that the poet, the mystic, or the shaman would call to you with the language of the flame. So when you're in your light, it's health, mental clarity, good digestion. When dark, excess heat and anger are complete darkness. You enliven the connection with this archetypal energy. Practice the candle gazing technique called Trodika. Notice how lighting a single candle in any space brings magic to the room and creates a sense of reverence. The archetypal friar is at the beginning of all transformation, purification, and manifestation. Nearly every spiritual lineage honors the flame.
Very
Yeah.
cool. We both clear our throats.
I know. I just had I feel like I've had it in my throat. But one of the things it said is to read The Light You Give Off by Rumi. And so, yeah, I pulled it up and I read it earlier, but I think it's good for everyone. So I'll put that in the notes too. Just go check it out. I might even just put a link, The Light You Give Off. It's a pretty long poem. So anyway.
Cute.
It's really interesting. Yeah, I feel really personally called. I feel called out by this card because I was we're talking about travel and it's talking about all these things about reigniting that flame within you. And when I travel, that's when I feel the most called to create. My creative energies feel they flow better. I have a lot of rituals around travel, and that might be why. But yeah, I was yeah, you gotta really, I liked the wording they used about protecting the flame no matter how harshly the winds around you blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that too.
So yes, that's the card for the day.
Protect the flame. Yeah, it's crazy because I actually was, I had a candle lit the other day. All this stuff has been happening just the past few days, but I had a candle lit the other day and was kind of doing that, just watching the fire. And I was doing this the smoke from it. I was trying to control it with my mind. I like to do stuff like that. I'll sit and play around with stuff like that, moving water and stuff like that. I try to do stuff like that. But yeah, so I was sitting there looking at this candle doing that. So yeah, it was just interesting to get that card and what you were just saying on that. Protect the flame.
It's very powerful. I think fire is very, very powerful.
Very.
Yeah. So
yeah. And a lot of people are scared of it, but it is a big process of the creation and in the whole experience of creating. And everyone always just sees it as all destructive though, but it's just part of the death rebirth experience.
I'm a water sign that wants to be a fire sign, so it's fine.
Cute.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I'm super grateful that we have so many listeners now. I was looking at our statistics and we've gotten over 200 listens now to all of our podcasts, and that made my heart so happy. And we are starting to get more and more feedback and people commenting and giving us information back and stories. We love interacting with you guys. So if you comment and you reach out to us, we will respond, and we really love sharing that with you. So thank you so much for listening to us and giving us an hour of your day. And don't forget to be wise
and get weird.